Hi, I'm Lori with a craft party. Was gonna make some French door embellishment today for our junk journal. I already have the French doors made, and it measures 10 inches by 8 inches, and then I inked around the edges and the creases and corner rounded it. Looks like I need to do the outside too. I'm using Vintage Photo. How's everybody doing today? We're doing really good. We had a good time the other night at the Mercer County Fairgrounds in Ohio watching the Journey Tribute Band and Heart Tribute Band. Was really a lot of fun. Okay, so we've got our French doors. Now we need a closure. I picked out this one. It needs to be inked. You can use any large piece of ephemera. And the way you want to do that is you want to glue just the one side. It doesn't matter which side you glue. I'm going to glue the left side, so I'll turn it over. Grab my art glitter glue. And you want to glue half of it, not both sides. Center it up on your page. And you can make this any size that you want to fit your journal. Just adjust it, the sizes for it. There, we got that. Oops, we got a little glue over. Just ink that back up a little bit. There we go, can't even tell. So we've got this, the front flap done. We can also embellish it. Matter of fact, I think I will. No, that's not what I want. Let's see what we've got. Looks like we've got some light pink ones in here. Get out my art glitter glue. I'm going to put 3 dots down here. And eventually the glue will grab. There we go. Get another light pink one. Put that in the glue. And grab another light pink one. Only need one. Then I lost both of them. There we go. Okay, and that you'll need to let dry. I'm going to continue on. Going to put the needle back in my glue. Okay, and I think the first thing I'm going to do is make a pocket here. So let's ink this up. Well, let's corner round it first. Just the top ones. Okay, and we're going to ink up. This pocket fits in the center. It measures 4 3/4 by 3 1/4. And you want to take your glue and you want to work just on the outside edge without going over of 3 sides. Okay. You want to center it between your 2 folds. Make sure it doesn't overlap your folds, because otherwise you won't be able to close your French doors. Okay, got that. And I'm going to put a large tag in here, and I've got this measured at 7 1/2 by 3 1/2. And I'm going to ink. First I want to do the corners. Grab a pair of scissors. And a quick way that I do this is I just fold it. I don't crease it. I just fold it and take off my corners. And now I've got a tag. Grab my hole punch. This one makes an hole punch. Center it up best you can. Then punch. And then we're going to ink it up with some Vintage Photo. I'm going to do both sides. I'm trying to do a video a day, but I'm sorry I didn't get one out this week. We had a busy day with going to the concert and everything. And that'll fit right down in there. Let's look for some trim. See if I've got some right off the bat. This would work out good. We'll have to cut it down. These aren't the best scissors to cut lace, that's for sure. Here's my other scissors. I'm going to use those. They cut a little better. And this is white, and I'm not sure that I'm happy with white. So I'm going to distress my lace using my Vintage Photo. And I need a piece of scrap paper. We'll just use this. Yep, good size. And then I just take my vintage photo and lightly rub onto the lace, flip it over. And then we've got distressed lace. I'm going to feed it through. That looks like a good amount. Go ahead and cut this off. Save the piece for later. And I'm going to glue it. You can staple it, tie it. What works for you is fine. Okay. And then if you're gluing it, you're just going to want to hold it there for a minute. And I'm going to make points on my lace. There we go. And I'm just holding this down for it to adhere. And we'll go ahead and put this off to the side. I'm going to put my corner rounder on there so it'll adhere. If it doesn't, we'll re-glue it. Okay. And I've got some pockets. Let's see. Got a pocket here. And a pocket for here. And should have a couple more pockets. There's a pocket, and there's a pocket. And I'm going to go ahead and ink these. And one thing that I wanted to show you, if you get these kits, I believe this one is by Ink and Page Journals, and it comes with the notch here. Just get your paper punch. This one is a 1-inch. Slide it in here to where you just barely see the edge and punch, and that'll make a nice perfect curve for you. That one's inked. That one's inked. And this one. These are scraps out of a kit that I've already used, so I'm sorry I can't tell you the name of it. Like I said, I believe it's by Ink and Page Journals. Maybe somebody out there recognizes it and can put in the comments what kit it's from. We're going to go ahead. I'm going to slide this up a little bit, and we're going to carefully glue around the outside edge. I like to put my hand on the edge I don't want glued. Go ahead and leave about 3/4 of an inch from the bottom. Got a little bit of glue over there. And you want to make sure, no matter what size your pockets are, that it doesn't overlap your crease here, so that way you can close it. We'll go ahead and do the same thing with this one. And we're going to put it up about 2.5 inches from the top. More like 2 inches from the top. And we're going to do the same thing with these. I did start a Ko-fi shop if you want to go over there and get a free printable that I made. I will be putting more stuff eventually in there. Just learning how to do that. Glue this one. Try to make it even with the one beside it, or on the opposite side. Okay, and then I've got some embellishments. I'm going to ink this. Put this in there. And we've got this one. Now, I don't think the green paper is from the same kit as some of these other embellishments. I'm not even sure if all these embellishments come from the same kit. I don't know. I usually have just a scrap envelope that I keep, and I put any of the excess from any of the kits in there to make stuff. Slide that one in there. Do this one. And this pocket's a little glued. There we go. Glue that back down. There's that. And we've got another ticket. We'll glue or distress this, ink it up, stick it over here. Okay, how's our, it didn't want to glue. I'll grab the stapler. And we'll just staple it. So now we've got that, and it can go in this pocket. Okay, and then I've got some embellishments. That I'm going to ink up. And you can embellish it any way that you want. Like I said, I use leftovers from other kits to make embellishments for my kits. We're gonna glue this. Looks like a postcard. And got to remember when you're gluing stuff down not to get on that fold, that crease, so that way you still can fold it up. Which way does this go? Looks like this way. So I'm going to stick it down here in the corner. And I think what I'm going to do is cut this in half. Ink that up there and make it look like it's tucked underneath. Yeah. There we go. And like I said, you can embellish it any way that you want. There's our French doors. And then I've got one of my journals here. We will find a page. This one will work here. And just set it in there. If you've got some Velcro, you could always Velcro this down. I don't know where mine is. I will have to find that and have it ready for the next time. But now you've got a set of French doors for your junk journal. Everybody have a great day. Goodbye. Hugs.